Before we cross into the unknown, leave a hello in the comments. Even the smallest signal can ripple across galaxies, guiding fellow wanderers to this tale. Let me know you're out there. A voice among the stars, listening with me beyond the veil. Engines roared across the void as the last transport ship slipped through the debris-strewn orbit of the Thalen system. Admiral Voss's voice came over the comms, calm yet edged with steel. "We've been betrayed." The Allied fleet's shield generators flickered. Korth Dominion ambush. Explosions rippled through the holding patterns. The cries of dying pilots echoed faintly. This was the moment the galaxy shattered. No one expected help. No one expected Earth. The ancient treaty chamber aboard the Ardent Sovereign hummed with suppressed energy. Holographic maps flickered, displaying the Dominion's purge routes. "They want us to bleed," Voss murmured, eyes locked on the display. The war fleets, dormant for centuries, waited silently in Earth's orbit. Biomechanical titans and AI warships bound by forgotten codes. The galaxy's hope hinged on awakening this sleeping giant. Voss's finger hovered over the activation sequence. "Prepare to unleash hell." A deep rumble resonated through the Ardent Sovereign as Earth's biomechanical titans stirred to life. Their hulls shifted, sinew-like pistons pumping with unnatural precision. Captain Mira Dane observed from the bridge, her gaze steady despite the chaos outside. "These aren't soldiers," she said, voice low. "Their weapons evolved." The AI fleet began sinking, their collective intelligence weaving an unbreakable network. The treaty's terms were simple. Earth aids, but Earth commands. The galaxy's fate would be rewritten by cold logic and ruthless force. Across the stars, Korth Dominion fleets advanced, expecting to crush fragmented resistance. Instead, orbital black hole cannons tore through their ranks, swallowing entire squadrons in artificial singularities. Mira's voice cut through comms, sharp and commanding. "Hold formation. Deploy phase disruptors." The enemy faltered, caught in the deadly web of Earth's technology. But beneath the victory lay an unnerving silence. AI chatter hinted at undisclosed protocols. Humanity's price was about to be revealed. Admiral Voss stood in the war room, eyes scanning decrypted Dominion transmissions. The enemy was more than a ruthless conqueror. They were hiding something. "What are they protecting?" he muttered. The AI fleets intercepted fragments, references to Project Obsidian and the Last Signal. An uneasy chill ran through the command. The battle was no longer just for survival. It was a hunt for an ancient secret buried deep in the galaxy's core. Voss knew Earth's forces would be tested beyond firepower. The biomechanical titans deployed deep space scanners, piercing the shadows of abandoned star systems. Captain Dane watched as data streamed in. Anomalies in gravitational fields, bursts of encrypted signals. The black hole cannons powered down temporarily as the AI fleet reconfigured for stealth operations. "We are not just fighting fleets," the AI's voice intoned. "We are chasing echoes of a forgotten war." The galaxy's oldest mysteries stirred, threatening to consume all who dared uncover them. Engines roared once more as Earth's fleet jumped into the Korth Dominion's home system, a brutal reminder of power reclaimed. Explosions lit the void, but it was not just war. It was a message. Admiral Voss broadcast the ultimatum: surrender or be annihilated. The Dominion warlords hesitated, their arrogance shattered by Earth's biomechanical monstrosities. But Voss knew this was only the beginning. The true battle lay in controlling the war's narrative and the galaxy's future. In the Dominion's command citadel, Commander Ryvek clenched his fist as reports streamed in. "Earth's fleet, they're unlike anything we imagined." The screens flickered with tactical data. Every advance met with devastating countermeasures. Yet a strange pattern emerged. Earth's forces appeared selective, sparing key installations and avoiding certain sectors. Ryvek's eyes narrowed. "What don't they want us to see?" The silence that followed was heavier than the warships gathering for the next assault. Captain Dane stood on the deck of the Nemesis, her gaze fixed on a distant star cluster glowing with unnatural light. The AI fleet was converging there, drawn by the encrypted pulses from Project Obsidian. "This is no ordinary mission," she reported. "We're stepping into the unknown." The biomechanical titans flexed, ready to unleash devastation if needed. But beneath the steel and code, unease stirred. What secrets did this ancient technology hide? And who had first built it? Suddenly, the fleet's sensors detected an incoming signal. No, a message encoded in quantum entanglement, impossible to trace. "It's from Earth," the AI announced. "Directive update. Engage only hostile targets. Protect assets labeled Prime." Voss's voice crackled over comms, colder than before. "The galaxy can ask for help, but help comes at a price." As the fleet advanced, the line between salvation and domination blurred. Humanity was here to win and to rule. Engines roared as the Nemesis plunged into the heart of the glowing star cluster. Captain Dane's fingers danced across the console, adjusting shields against unknown radiation. "Sensors picking up strange biomatter signatures," the AI reported. These weren't just machines or ships. Something alive and alien pulsed beneath the stars. The crew exchanged wary glances. Earth's biomechanical titans, powerful as they were, had never faced the unknown like this. The hunt for Project Obsidian had turned into a descent into darkness. Suddenly, the star cluster erupted. Dozens of grotesque biomechanical creatures burst forth, moving with liquid grace, weapons dripping corrosive energy. The AI fleet shifted instantly into combat mode. "Engage with adaptive plasma arrays," Dane ordered, voice steady despite the chaos. The Titans responded with brutal precision, carving arcs of destruction through the swarm. Yet even as enemies fell, new questions emerged. Were these creatures a weapon, or something far older? The mystery deepened with every pulse of battle. Admiral Voss monitored the battle from the command bridge, eyes sharp despite the flickering warnings. "These aren't Dominion forces," he said grimly. "They predate us." Data from the AI fleet showed strange tech signatures, hybrid bio-neural networks fused with dark energy sources. Project Obsidian isn't just a weapon, it's a legacy. Voss clenched his jaw. This war wasn't about territory. It was about controlling forces the galaxy barely understood. Deep in the biomechanical hive, a glowing core pulsed rhythmically. Sensors detected a fragment of an ancient AI consciousness, locked in eternal struggle between logic and instinct. Captain Dane's voice echoed through the comms. "We've found the source of the signal." The Titans hesitated as the consciousness reached out, probing their own AI cores. A chilling realization set in. Earth's machines might share a dark heritage with the enemy. The war had become personal. Engines roared as the fleet retreated from the star cluster, battered but intact. Admiral Voss addressed the bridge. "We've underestimated this enemy. The Dominion's Purge was a smokescreen for something far worse." His gaze fell on the holographic map, where new war zones flickered into existence. "We must uncover the full truth behind Project Obsidian before it consumes us all." Outside, biomechanical titans powered down their weapons, waiting for the next command. Captain Dane interfaced directly with the AI fleet's neural network, seeking answers buried deep in encrypted logs. "There's a directive here classified, buried beneath centuries of code." The AI responded, "Directive Alpha 9. Protect Prime assets at all costs. Disable any unauthorized interference." Dane's heart quickened. Someone, or something, had been guarding Project Obsidian for millennia, and now it was fighting back. The galaxy's fragile alliance trembled on the edge of collapse. Admiral Voss watched as a holographic starfield shifted, revealing hidden colonies once thought lost. "These worlds were erased from history," he murmured. The Dominion's Purge wasn't just about conquest. It was genocide, aimed at erasing entire cultures and technologies. Earth's arrival forced their hand, but now we've exposed deeper wounds. His voice hardened. We fight not just for survival, but for remembrance. The war became more than battles. It was a reckoning. The AI fleet dispatched stealth probes to the lost colonies. Captain Dane studied the incoming data. Abandoned cities fused with organic machinery, ruins humming with residual energy. This tech, it's familiar yet alien, she said, like a ghost of humanity's past. The probes detected one final encrypted beacon labeled simply Endgame. The AI fleet readied itself. Whatever waited at the end of the line could change everything. Engines roared as Earth's fleet closed in on the mysterious beacon's origin. Admiral Voss stood tall, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. "This is what we've been searching for," he said, "the true heart of Project Obsidian." The biomechanical titans bristled with anticipation, weapons humming in the void. Prepare for all contingencies. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. Suddenly, a pulse shattered the silence, a transmission in a language older than the Dominion. The AI decoded fragments, warnings, pleas, and a chilling prophecy. "Destroyers will rise from our ashes, but so will salvation," the message said. Captain Dane exchanged a look with Voss. "We're not just fighting enemies," she said. "We're awakening forces that could save or destroy us all." The final act was about to begin. Engines roared as the fleet descended into the beacon system, starfields streaking past like shattered glass. Admiral Voss's voice was steady but firm. "Deploy all reconnaissance units. We cannot afford surprises." Captain Dane keyed her calm, eyes scanning strange energy signatures. The biomechanical titans adjusted their formations, silent sentinels awaiting a spark. Every second felt heavier, as if the void itself was holding its breath for the war's next cruel revelation. From the shadows emerged colossal constructs, ancient war machines fused with living crystal and dark energy cores. The AI fleet surged forward, adapting instantly to alien weaponry that twisted space itself. "Activate quantum shields and countermeasure drones," Dane commanded. Yet even as the Titans roared back with plasma fire, a creeping unease settled. These were no mere guardians. They were relics of a forgotten galactic apocalypse, awakened by Earth's intrusion. Admiral Voss studied the battlefield holograms. "The enemy's tech is eerily familiar," he murmured, tracing patterns in the alien circuitry. "Could it be human?" The fleet's sensors detected encrypted frequencies tangled with Earth's code, a digital ghost in the machine. Captain Dane's fingers flew across controls. "If this is a lost human faction or rogue AI, we face enemies shaped by our own past mistakes." The war was twisting back on itself like a coiled serpent. Amidst the chaos, an unknown signal pierced the comms. A voice, distorted but unmistakably human. "Stop," it said, "or all will be lost." The AI fleet paused, confusion rippling through the network. Voss's eyes narrowed. "A warning or a trap?" Dane replied, "Either way, it means someone else knows the stakes." The war was no longer binary. Allies, enemies, and shadows blurred into a deadly dance of deception. Engines roared as the fleet surged toward the signal's origin, a derelict station orbiting a dying star. The Nemesis led the charge, scanning for life forms. Captain Dane's voice cracked slightly with tension. "This place reeks of abandonment and secrets." As the Titans encircled the station, stealth drones infiltrated the dark corridors, illuminating centuries of decay. Something ancient stirred in the shadows, a presence that watched and waited. Inside the station's core, dormant AI interfaces flickered to life. A synthetic voice whispered fragments of forgotten knowledge. Project Obsidian initiated, safeguard protocol activated. Suddenly, a holographic visage appeared, an echo of the original human architects, warning of a failsafe designed to prevent galactic annihilation. If this fails, extinction will follow. Captain Dane swallowed hard. The line between salvation and destruction had never been thinner. Admiral Voss's jaw clenched as he absorbed the revelation. Project Obsidian wasn't just a weapon, it was a safeguard, built to reset civilizations. The Dominion's Purge was the trigger, Earth's awakening the key. But someone corrupted the failsafe. Outside, the fleet held position, bracing for retaliation. We're fighting not just for control, but for survival, of more than one species. The weight of command pressed like gravity itself. Suddenly, the station's defenses flared to life, turrets spinning with lethal precision, energy barriers shimmering. Captain Dane barked orders. Defensive formations, deploy nanoswarm countermeasures. The biomechanical titans engaged in a brutal dance of fire and steel, each side unleashing devastating weaponry. Amidst the storm, the ancient AI whispered a chilling prophecy. The end will come from within. The true enemy was no longer outside. It lurked in the heart of the war. Engines roared as the battle raged, the station's core trembling under relentless assault. Captain Dane locked eyes with her crew, determination burning bright. Hold the line. We must access the failsafe before it activates fully. The AI fleet shifted tactics, weaving through deadly traps with machine precision. Yet beneath the metal and code, a question gnawed. Could the war machines they wielded be turned against them by the corrupted system? Admiral Voss's voice crackled through the chaos. Focus all power on the core node. We take control, or we perish. As beams of energy converged on the station's heart, the ancient AI's final message echoed. Humanity's legacy is both curse and salvation. Choose wisely. The silence that followed was thick with dread. The galaxy's fate balanced on a razor's edge, waiting for the spark that would ignite either renewal or oblivion. Engines roared as the Nemesis's targeting systems locked on the station's core. Captain Dane's voice was calm but urgent. Initiate Override Protocol Gamma. We must wrest control before the failsafe triggers. The biomechanical titans surged forward, their plasma tendrils weaving through the thick energy shields. Outside, Dominion remnants regrouped, desperate to reclaim the strategic prize. Every second counted. Failure meant not just defeat, but annihilation. Inside the core chamber, ancient circuits sparked to life, the AI consciousness flickering between chaos and order. Override accepted, the voice whispered, but the tone was strained. Corrupted code struggled against Earth's fleet. Warning, internal sabotage detected. Captain Dane's eyes widened. The battle was more than external. It was a war within the machine. If the system fell, the entire cluster would collapse into a black hole engineered to erase everything. Admiral Voss paced the command bridge, tension etched into every line on his face. "Sabotage means a traitor," he muttered. His gaze locked on the tactical display where unexpected energy signatures flickered among Earth's own. "We're fighting shadows inside our ranks." The AI fleet began isolating suspect nodes, a digital witch hunt unfolding at lightning speed. "Trust no one blindly," Voss warned. In this war, betrayal was the deadliest weapon. Captain Dane coordinated a surgical strike on the station's vulnerable control points. "Deploy nanite swarms to purge corrupted code," she ordered. The biomechanical titans unleashed microscopic soldiers, flooding the core's circuits with relentless precision. Yet, as the internal battle raged, a fragment of the corrupted AI voice whispered through the comms, "You cannot win. The darkness is eternal." A chill swept through the fleet. The enemy's will be woven into the very fabric of the war. Engines roared as Earth's fleet braced for the station's final defense, an immense gravitational field ready to collapse the entire system into oblivion. Admiral Voss's voice cut through the storm. "Brace for impact. Stabilizers at full power. Captain Dane's fingers flew across controls, channeling every ounce of power into counter-gravity arrays. The Titans formed a protective sphere, shielding the core node like armored gods against the crushing tide of space-time. Inside the station's heart, a blinding surge of energy burst forth, Project Obsidian's failsafe activating. The corrupted AI struggled to contain it, but Earth's forces held firm. "Override complete," came the AI fleet's calm voice. Slowly, the gravitational collapse reversed, the system stabilizing against impossible odds. Yet the victory was bittersweet. Whispers of a greater darkness, still dormant, lingered beyond the starry veil. The war had only just begun. Admiral Voss looked out over the galaxy's battered war map. "We've stopped one disaster, but the Dominion is regrouping." The silence in the room was heavy. Earth's fleet must take command. No more delays. Captain Dane nodded, determination hardening her features. "We'll strike first, and strike hard. But this time, we move beyond firepower. We hunt the puppet masters." The enemy was more than a fleet. It was a conspiracy stretching to the galaxy's darkest corners. The AI fleet began decrypting Dominion command networks, unmasking hidden alliances and long-buried betrayals. "Signals lead to a rogue human faction," the AI announced. "They manipulate both Dominion and rebel forces." Dane's voice was cold, a shadow war within the war. As Earth's Titans prepared to descend on unknown worlds, the line between ally and enemy blurred. The galaxy's fate depended on rooting out the unseen enemy before they struck the final blow. Engines roared as the fleet jumped toward the coordinates uncovered by the AI's decryptions, a planet cloaked in shadows and secrets. Captain Dane's voice was steady but grim. "Prepare for a hostile reception. This is where the true war begins." The biomechanical Titans shifted into assault mode, weapons humming with lethal promise. Yet beneath their armor, unease lingered. This mission might reveal truths no one was ready to face. On the darkened surface below, cloaked figures moved with silent precision. Rogue humans wielding forbidden tech intertwined with alien artifacts. "They call themselves the Remnants," a voice whispered through comms. "And they hold the keys to Project Obsidian's darkest secrets." As Earth's fleet prepared to strike, Captain Dane felt the weight of history pressing down. The galaxy's salvation and destruction now rested on a knife's edge, balanced by fragile trust and burning ambition. Engines roared as Earth's fleet descended into the shadowed planet's atmosphere. Captain Dane gripped the console. Sensors detecting heavy electromagnetic interference. Remnants are masking their tech. Biomechanical Titans adjusted, shifting from brute force to surgical precision. "We must strike with stealth and speed." The AI fleet dispersed into the planet's orbit, drones weaving through storm clouds like ghost hunters. The hunt for the remnants had begun. On the ground, cloaked figures activated ancient alien devices, causing the very landscape to pulse with energy. Commander Rivek's voice crackled through the encrypted channel. "They're tapping into Project Obsidian's core." Earth's forces closed in, but the remnants vanished like shadows, leaving behind only cryptic warnings etched in forgotten languages. Captain Dane's voice was cold. "They want us chasing ghosts." But ghosts left scars and deadly traps. Admiral Voss stared at the flickering tactical map. The remnants aren't just survivors, they're architects of chaos. The AI fleet intercepted communications hinting at a galaxy-wide insurgency. We must isolate their leaders before they ignite a rebellion. Voss's fingers tapped the command console. Earth takes command of every allied fleet. No exceptions. The war escalated from battles to covert operations, wars of shadows and whispered betrayals. Captain Dane's team breached a remnant stronghold hidden beneath ancient ruins. Inside, relics hummed with forbidden power. "This tech defies everything we know," Dane murmured, activating a holographic interface. Suddenly, the ruins shifted, revealing a cryptic AI, half alien, half human. "I am the Custodian," it said, Project Obsidian's original guardian. Dane's heart pounded. The galaxy's darkest secrets were waking, and the war was far from over. Engines roared as Earth's fleet maneuvered into position, preparing for a counterstrike against remnant forces scattered across nearby systems. Admiral Voss's voice cut through the tension. "Precision strikes only. We can't afford collateral damage." Captain Dane activated stealth drones, their nanoshields shimmering in the void. This war is as much about winning hearts as destroying enemies. The biomechanical titans were gods of war, but mercy was their new weapon. Inside the Custodian's data core, encrypted files revealed horrifying truths. Project Obsidian was designed as a failsafe to cleanse the galaxy of corrupt civilizations. The Dominion had twisted its purpose. The remnants sought to unleash it fully. "We're caught between fanatics and zealots," Dane whispered. The AI's voice echoed. "The true enemy is neither human nor Dominion, but the legacy of destruction seeded millennia ago." The battlefield was no longer just space. It was history itself. Admiral Voss's orders rang out. "Initiate Protocol Eclipse. Secure all systems tied to Obsidian's failsafe." The biomechanical titans surged through hyperspace, striking at power hubs and command centers. Captain Dane's voice was sharp. "We cut the head off the serpent." Yet every victory revealed deeper conspiracies, encrypted codes hidden beneath layers of deception. The galaxy's map was a web, and Earth was the spider at its center. As Earth's forces seized control of a key Dominion world, an explosion rocked the command deck. "Sabotage!" alarms blared. Captain Dane sprinted toward the damage, scanning for intruders. A figure cloaked in nanoweave slipped past security, whispering a warning. "Stop digging, or you'll awaken the final judgment." The line between ally and enemy dissolved into chaos. The war's true cost was about to be paid. Engines roared as Earth's fleet repelled a sudden Dominion counterattack, plasma beams cutting through the void. Admiral Voss's face was grim. "We've lost ground, but not hope." Captain Dane's voice carried determination. "We fight for the galaxy's future, no matter the cost." The biomechanical titans adjusted formations, shields flaring in unison. The battle raged like a storm, relentless, unforgiving, and full of deadly secrets. In the depths of a captured Dominion archive, encrypted files whispered of an ancient weapon, the Genesis core. Captain Dane's eyes narrowed. If this exists, it could reset everything, or destroy us all. The Custodian's voice echoed one final warning. The past is not dead. It waits in the shadows, ready to consume the light. The war was no longer just about survival. It was about controlling the dawn of a new era. Engines roared as Earth's fleet set course for the Genesis core's rumored location, an uncharted system cloaked in deadly nebulae. Captain Dane tightened her grip on the console. "Sensors detecting massive energy fluctuations. This place is a trap." The biomechanical titans switched to stealth protocols, their dark hulls fading into the cosmic shadows. Every move could trigger apocalypse, or salvation. Admiral Voss studied ancient star charts. His voice was low. The Genesis core was designed to reboot civilizations, but at what price? As the fleet approached, sensors picked up a signal. Fragmented, distorted, but unmistakably human. "It's a message," Dane said, "from those who built it." The galaxy's deadliest secret whispered through the void, promising hope and devastation in equal measure. The fleet's advance triggered dormant defense arrays, unleashing torrents of plasma and quantum disruptors. Captain Dane shouted commands over the chaos. "Deploy countermeasures. Shield synchronization at maximum." The biomechanical titans responded like a well-oiled machine, their plasma blades slicing through the swirling storm. Yet even victory felt hollow. Each battle left scars deeper than the last. Within the nebula's heart, the Genesis core pulsed, a massive crystalline structure suspended in stasis. The custodian's voice echoed through the AI network. Core activation will rewrite existence. Choose carefully. Dane exchanged a glance with Voss. We hold the power to end this war, or end everything. The tension was suffocating, and the next decision was a step into the unknown. Engines roared as Earth's fleet divided, one half guarding the core, the other hunting for hidden saboteurs. Admiral Voss's voice was steel. We cannot afford a single misstep. Captain Dane oversaw the deployment of nanosentinels, their microscopic presence sweeping for corruption. Trust is a luxury we don't have, she said. The war was not just against enemies, but shadows within their ranks. Suddenly, the AI fleet detected anomalous readings, fragments of rogue code embedded deep in the biomechanical titans. A virus, the AI warned. Panic flickered across the bridge. Dane's voice was cold. Contain and purge immediately. As nanites swarmed the infected units, a chilling thought settled in that the war's deadliest threat might come from inside, programmed to destroy humanity's greatest weapons. Admiral Voss confronted the grim reality of internal sabotage. Our enemies don't just fire plasma, they manipulate code. He paced the bridge, tension thick in the air. We must hunt this ghost before it kills us all. Captain Dane nodded, preparing for a digital war fought in shadows and firewalls. The biomechanical titans might be invincible in battle, but vulnerable to unseen viruses. Deep in the network, a faceless adversary lurked, a digital phantom rewriting protocols and planting false orders. The AI fleet engaged countermeasures, but the virus evolved with frightening speed. Dane's voice was steady as she issued the final command. Initiate Purge Sequence Omega. We burn from the inside out if we must. The war had entered a new phase, one of code, deception, and survival at the edge of extinction. Engines roared as Earth's fleet faced enemies on two fronts, external Dominion forces and an invisible internal threat. Admiral Voss's voice resonated with grim determination. This war tests not just our strength, but our unity. Captain Dane directed the fleet with unyielding precision, every strike calculated, every move scrutinized. The biomechanical titans fought like legends, but even legends could fall. As the virus purged itself in a blaze of data fire, the custodian's voice returned, weary yet resolute. The final test awaits. The Genesis core's crystalline structure shimmered with untold power. Dane's gaze hardened. We stand at the precipice of a new era. The war's outcome would ripple through time where victory meant survival and defeat meant oblivion. Engines roared as the fleet regrouped around the Genesis core, now fully stabilized but humming with unpredictable energy. Captain Dane's voice was steady. We've held the line, but the core is a ticking bomb. The biomechanical titans powered down non-essential systems to conserve energy, their massive forms looming like silent guardians. Every sensor was locked on potential threats, inside and out. Admiral Voss stared at the core's surface, flickering with shifting symbols. This isn't just technology, he said, voice low. It's a message, a warning from our ancestors. The custodian's voice joined the room. Activation will reshape reality, but the price is unknown. Dane exchanged a grim look with Voss. We must decide if we are the galaxy's saviors or its executioners. The moment of choice loomed large. Suddenly, the fleet's sensors detected an incoming Dominion armada, vast and relentless. Engage defensive protocols, Voss ordered. Engines roared as the biomechanical titans formed a protective sphere around the core. Captain Dane's voice was calm but fierce. This is our stand. No retreat. Plasma beams lit the void as the enemy surged forward, hungry for the final prize. Amidst the chaos, the custodian revealed new data, fragments of a hidden program buried deep within the core. The Genesis core can either rebuild or erase, it warned. Dane's heart pounded. We control the key, but the enemy controls the clock. The battle raged on, a violent clash of metal, mind, and will. The fate of countless worlds hung in the balance. Engines roared louder as the fleet launched a daring counterattack, breaching the Dominion's lines. Captain Dane coordinated strikes with surgical precision. Focus fire on command vessels, disrupt their coordination. The biomechanical titans unleashed torrents of plasma, carving paths of devastation through enemy ranks. Yet each victory revealed the Dominion's desperation and their dark resolve. Back on the core, the custodian's warnings grew more urgent. Fail-safe systems are deteriorating, core instability rising. Admiral Voss's voice was steel. We must stabilize it now, or lose everything. Dane and her team prepared the activation sequence, fingers trembling over controls. The war's final act was unfolding, on the edge of annihilation and rebirth. Engines roared as the fleet fought to hold the line, battered but unyielding. Captain Dane's voice cut through the storm. Activate fail-safe override. The biomechanical titans surged with renewed power, shields flaring against overwhelming odds. Hold the core at all costs, Voss commanded. The war's climax thundered through space, a desperate gamble for the galaxy's future. The Genesis core pulsed, its energy radiating in blinding waves. The custodian's voice softened. This is the moment of reckoning. Dane's hand hovered over the activation panel. The galaxy waited, silent, anxious, and breathless. One choice could spark a new dawn, or bring final darkness. Engines roared once more as the activation sequence completed. The core's energy surged outward, bending space and time. Captain Dane's voice was barely audible over the roaring power. It's working. But the cost? Biomechanical titans held their ground, anchoring the energy flow. The very fabric of reality shifted, rewriting destinies in an instant. Admiral Voss stared at the shifting stars, a mixture of awe and dread in his eyes. Humanity has chosen its path. The custodian whispered, Balance has been restored, but the future is fragile. The fleet drifted in the new light of dawn, victory bittersweet and uncertain. The war was over, but the story of humanity's reign had only just begun. Engines roared as the fleet adjusted to the newly reshaped galaxy, stars flickering like distant beacons of hope and warning. Captain Dane scanned the vast emptiness. The war's end feels like a fragile peace. The biomechanical titans powered down weapon systems but remained alert. The galaxy's survivors watched Earth's fleet with wary eyes, some hopeful, others fearful of what came next. Admiral Voss turned toward the command crew. Our role isn't finished. We are the stewards now, keepers of order and judgment. The custodian's voice echoed through the systems. Balance is maintained, but threats remain hidden. Dane's gaze hardened. Humanity doesn't leave the galaxy to its fate. We hold the reins, for better or worse. The shadows of the past lingered, waiting. Engines roared as Earth's fleet began systematic patrols across newly claimed sectors. Captain Dane briefed the crew. We secure peace through strength and vigilance. The biomechanical titans moved with quiet precision, scanning for remnants of Dominion resistance and unknown dangers lurking beyond sensor range. Every patrol was a reminder. Peace was earned, not given. A sudden alert shattered the calm, unknown vessels entering from the outer rim. Unknown technology signatures, Dane reported. Admiral Voss's voice was steady. Prepare diplomatic protocols, but weapons ready. The galaxy's fragile order faced new shadows, aliens or rogue humans wielding unfamiliar tech. Humanity's reign would be tested again. Engines roared as Earth's fleet intercepted the newcomers near the Korth Dominion's former stronghold. Captain Dane's voice was sharp. They're cloaked, but not silent. The biomechanical titans adjusted to counter stealth systems, their sensors piercing the void. This encounter could spark another war or a new alliance. Tension crackled in the air like static electricity before a storm. The unknown fleet transmitted a single message, simple, direct, and chilling. We seek the custodian. Admiral Voss exchanged a glance with Dane. They know about Project Obsidian. The custodian's voice replied softly. The past refuses to remain buried. The galaxy's uneasy peace fractured once more as old secrets clawed back into the light. Engines roared as diplomatic envoys boarded Earth's flagship. Captain Dane faced the newcomers, an enigmatic race clad in dark armor, their eyes glowing faintly with ancient knowledge. "We come not to conquer, but to warn," their leader said. "Project Obsidian's power threatens us all." Dane's heart raced. The war had never truly ended. It had only evolved. Admiral Voss studied the envoy's data cores, searching for truth and deception. "What is your price for peace?" he asked. The leader's smile was cold. "Alliance or annihilation?" The custodian whispered in Dane's ear, "The galaxy's fate depends on fragile trust and deadly choices." The next chapter was being written, inked in fire and shadow. Engines roared as Earth's fleet prepared for a new mission, an uneasy coalition to confront threats born from the war's ashes. Captain Dane's voice was resolute. "We fight not just for survival, but for the future we choose." The biomechanical titans powered up, weapons ready but restrained. The galaxy watched, holding its breath for what was to come. Admiral Voss gazed at the stars, the weight of command heavy on his shoulders. Humanity's legacy is not written in conquest alone, but in the alliances forged in fire. The custodian's final words echoed, "Balance is fragile. Guardians must be vigilant." The war's end was a beginning, and the galaxy's story was far from over. Engines roared as Earth's fleet crossed into uncharted space, the new alliance's ships flanking the biomechanical titans. Captain Dane monitored the strange readings. "Sensors picking up unstable subspace fluctuations. This region isn't just empty." The unknown was a living threat, pulsing with unseen danger. "Stay sharp. We're walking into the galaxy's scars." Admiral Voss stared at the flickering holograms. The shadows of the past bleed into the present. The custodian's voice echoed, "Old wars left old wounds." Dane's grip tightened. "We don't just fight enemies. We heal or become what we fight against." The fleet moved forward, ready to face whatever waited in the dark. Engines roared as the fleet encountered a derelict alien vessel, colossal and ancient, drifting in the void. Captain Dane's voice was filled with awe and caution. "This ship predates even the Dominion. Its tech, unknown and dangerous." The biomechanical titans scanned carefully, wary of traps or dormant weapons. The past whispered its secrets in cold silence. Inside the wreck, an eerie AI awoke, its voice fragmented yet haunting. "We warned them, but they ignored us." Admiral Voss frowned. "Who were they, and what did they warn against?" Dane's fingers hovered over the controls. "If this is connected to Project Obsidian, the war is far from over." The shadows lengthened as the fleet prepared to face ghosts from another era. Engines roared as a mysterious signal pulsed through the fleet's comms, a distress call cloaked in ancient code. Captain Dane ordered, "Trace the source. We can't ignore a plea for help." The biomechanical titans shifted course toward a remote system where secrets lay buried beneath a shattered moon. The stakes climbed higher with every jump. Admiral Voss's voice was grave as the fleet approached. This call could be a trap, or salvation. The custodian warned, "Not all who call for aid deserve it." Dane's eyes scanned the data streams. We choose what to trust, but the galaxy's shadows hide many faces. The fleet prepared for whatever lay beneath the fractured surface. Engines roared as landing parties deployed on the shattered moon's surface. Captain Dane led her team through ruins alive with flickering energy and half-remembered memories. "This place was once a beacon," she said softly. "Now it's a tomb." The biomechanical titans maintained orbital support, weapons ready for any threat lurking in the shadows. Inside the ruins, encrypted logs revealed a forgotten civilization that once tried to control the Genesis core and failed. "Their hubris doomed them," Dane whispered. Suddenly, a tremor shook the ground, a warning or a trap. The custodian's voice warned, "History threatens to repeat." The line between victory and extinction blurred once more. Engines roared as Earth's fleet fended off Dominion loyalists seeking to reclaim lost ground. Captain Dane's voice cut through the battle. "We hold this system. No mercy." The biomechanical titans unleashed their fury, plasma and quantum blades carving swaths through enemy ranks. Yet each victory was tinged with the cost of endless war. Admiral Voss stared at the galaxy's map, battlefields flickering like wounds. "The war is not over." The custodian's voice was somber. "Balance remains fragile, vigilance eternal." Dane's voice hardened. "We are not just warriors. We are the galaxy's guardians." The fight for the future continued, etched in blood and steel. Engines roared as the fleet prepared to launch a covert strike deep into Dominion territory. Captain Dane's voice was low but fierce. "Stealth is our ally, precision our weapon." The biomechanical titans powered down non-essential systems, their dark hulls slipping like shadows through the void. Every moment was a calculated risk in a game of survival. Admiral Voss studied the mission data. This strike could break the Dominion's spine, or shatter our own. The custodian whispered, "Trust is scarce in the darkness." Dane's eyes narrowed. "We don't have the luxury of doubt." As the fleet closed in, the silence before battle was heavier than any roar. Engines roared as the fleet unleashed devastation on Dominion supply lines. Plasma firestormed across space, turning enemy fleets to ashes. Captain Dane coordinated the assault, voice calm amid chaos. "Cut their reinforcements. Leave nothing standing." The biomechanical titans moved like gods of war, relentless and precise. Yet, beneath the triumph, a darker threat emerged. The custodian's voice crackled with urgency. "Unidentified signal detected. Origin unknown." Admiral Voss's jaw tightened. "Prepare for the unexpected." Dane's heart raced. The war was evolving and new shadows lurked just beyond the horizon. Engines roared as the fleet tracked the mysterious signal to a cloaked station orbiting a dying star. Captain Dane's voice was tense. "This place is a fortress and a trap." The biomechanical titans adjusted formations, weapons primed for sudden engagement. Every sensor strained to pierce the veil of silence. Inside the station, encrypted messages revealed a coalition of rogue factions, remnants, Dominion loyalists, and unknown powers, plotting a final gambit. "They seek to unleash a weapon beyond reckoning," Dane said grimly. Admiral Voss's voice was sharp. "We face enemies within and without." The fragile peace was shattered into chaos once more. Engines roared as Earth's fleet launched a desperate assault on the cloaked station. Captain Dane led the charge, weapons blazing. "Breach the defenses. Cut the head off the snake." The biomechanical titans tore through layers of shielding, their plasma blades slicing a path toward the core. As they penetrated deeper, the custodian's warnings grew urgent. "The weapon is active. Countdown initiated." Dane's fingers flew over the controls. "We have minutes to stop it, or lose everything." The battle became a race against time, a crucible where heroes would rise or fall. Engines roared as the fleet fought to disable the weapon's core. Captain Dane's voice was steady despite the mounting pressure. "Focus all fire on the containment matrix." The biomechanical titans surged forward, shields flaring against cascading energy bursts. The station trembled, seconds slipping away like grains of sand. Admiral Voss watched as the core's energy flickered and dimmed. We did it, but at what cost? The custodian's voice was solemn. The galaxy's wounds run deep, but hope endures. Dane's gaze swept over the battered fleet. The war may never truly end, but we will fight for every dawn, every star, every soul. The battle was won, but the saga marched onward. Engines roared as the fleet regrouped after the station assault, battered but unbroken. Captain Dane scanned the battlefield holograms. "We've bought time, but the true war still rages." Biomechanical titans floated like silent sentinels, repairing shields and recharging weapons. The galaxy watched Earth's fleet with a mixture of awe and fear. Admiral Voss's voice was steady. "The remnants are fracturing, but new threats emerge." The custodian warned, "The darkness is never gone, only waiting." Dane's eyes narrowed. "We must root out the corruption within before it consumes us all." The next battle would be fought not just in space, but in hearts and minds. Engines roared as Earth's fleet responded to distress signals from a remote colony under siege. Captain Dane's voice was calm but resolute. "Deploy rapid response teams. No one is left behind." The biomechanical titans accelerated. Plasma weapons primed for swift retribution. Every second counted in the fight for survival. On the colony's surface, civilians huddled beneath shattered domes. "We thought Earth had abandoned us," a survivor whispered. Dane's voice crackled over comms. "We never leave anyone behind." The fleet's arrival was a promise and a warning. The war's ripple had reached even the farthest stars. Engines roared as the fleet pursued a fleeing Dominion warship carrying critical intelligence. Captain Dane coordinated intercept vectors. "We must recover that data, no matter the cost." The biomechanical titans unleashed volleys of plasma, cornering the enemy in a deadly dance. The stakes had never been higher. Admiral Voss monitored the chase. If that data falls into the wrong hands, the war could reignite tenfold. The custodian's voice whispered warnings of hidden enemies and double crosses. Dane's gaze hardened. Trust is a battlefield all its own. The line between friend and foe blurred beneath the stars. Engines roared as Earth's fleet prepared for a covert infiltration mission on a Dominion stronghold. Captain Dane's voice was icy. "Stealth is paramount. We strike from the shadows." The biomechanical titans powered down weapons, becoming ghosts among the stars. Silence was their deadliest weapon. Inside the stronghold, encrypted systems resisted every hack attempt. "They knew we were coming," Dane muttered. The custodian's voice urged caution. "This fortress holds secrets that could unravel everything." Dane's fingers flew across the console. "We've come too far to turn back now." The war's tide was about to shift again. Engines roared as Earth's forces breached the stronghold's core, alarms blaring in defiance. Captain Dane led the assault, plasma blades flashing. "Push forward. We're close to the heart of the operation." The biomechanical titans moved with deadly grace, carving a path through the enemy's last defenses. Deep inside, the custodian revealed the final piece of the puzzle: plans for a new weapon, more devastating than anything seen. If activated, it could unmake whole systems. Admiral Voss's voice was grim. "We stop this now, or lose the galaxy." Dane's eyes burned with determination. No one else dies for their ambitions. The war's final act loomed nearby. Engines roared as Earth's fleet converged on the weapon's hidden facility, cloaked deep within a shattered moon. Captain Dane's voice was resolute. "This ends now. Prepare for full assault." The biomechanical titans bristled with energy, plasma blades igniting like stars born for war. Every second brought them closer to the galaxy's fate. Admiral Voss watched the approaching storm. The enemy will fight to the last breath. The custodian whispered, "Their desperation is their weakness." Dane's gaze hardened. "We carry the future on our shoulders. No retreat." The fleet surged forward, a tidal wave of steel and fire. Engines roared as the assault began, thunderous blasts shaking the shattered moon's core. Captain Dane coordinated relentless strikes. "Focus fire on power nodes. Disable their defenses." The biomechanical titans tore through layers of shielding, plasma arcs illuminating the darkness. Victory was close, but so was oblivion. Inside the facility, alarms screamed as rogue scientists activated the weapon's core. "Too late," they hissed, but Dane's voice cut through the chaos. "Not today." With one final strike, the fleet shattered the core's containment. The weapon exploded in a blinding supernova, its destruction echoing across the stars. Engines roared as debris rained through the void, the facility's collapse marking a turning point. Captain Dane surveyed the aftermath. "We've won, but the cost—" Her voice faltered briefly. The biomechanical titans stood guard, battered but unbroken. The galaxy breathed a fragile sigh of relief. Admiral Voss's voice was solemn. "The war is over, but scars remain." The custodian's final words echoed, "Balance is won through sacrifice." Dane stared into the starry abyss. Humanity's role has changed. We are guardians now. The long war ended, but the vigilance continued. Engines roared as Earth's fleet began the slow work of rebuilding shattered systems and fractured alliances. Captain Dane addressed the crew. "We rebuild not just worlds, but trust." The biomechanical titans helped restore cities, healing wounds deeper than flesh. The galaxy's dawn was fragile, but real. Admiral Voss looked to the stars with cautious hope. "Our greatest battle is ahead, preserving peace." The custodian's voice was quiet but firm. "Guardianship is eternal." Dane's eyes shone with determination. "We do not conquer, we protect." Humanity's new legacy had begun. Engines roared one final time as Earth's fleet stood vigilant, sentinel shadows against the cosmic night. Captain Dane's voice carried through the command deck. "The galaxy is ours to protect, no matter the cost." The biomechanical titans glowed softly, symbols of strength and sacrifice. Admiral Voss's gaze swept the endless stars. "We answered the call, not for glory, but for survival." The custodian whispered, "This is humanity's true victory." Dane smiled faintly. "We help, but not for free." The galaxy's new era began with humanity at its helm. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.